AskReddit by Dazzling Leopard 4627. What just screams this couple isn't going to make it? His $700 OnlyFans monthly bill. Their wedding is in July. What? How do you even spend that much? Isn't a subscription a couple of bucks a month or something? IDK, I've never used of, but I imagine it's kinda like Twitch. Having a fix-it baby. Or staying together getting married due to an accidental pregnancy. I can tell you from being the child of parents who stayed together for the children that you probably shouldn't do that. Excessive humble bragging posts. Almost all the couples I've seen who do that on my social media are now broken up. I can't help but feel like there's a correlation. They've actually done studies. Couples that frequently post about their relationships tend to be less happy than those that keep a lower profile. Controlling the other's actions. Won't let them see friends, family, do hobbies or really anything alone and for themselves. Those are often worse, cause the relationship doesn't continue long after it should have stopped, but the victim doesn't even know they are being abused. Not giving each other the benefit of the doubt when a miscommunication or something happens. Quick to just assume the worst or habits. 100%. I'm going through a divorce. I asked my husband what was something I could do to improve our marriage. He said to stop manipulating him after work. I asked what he meant. He said when he comes home I give him a big hug and a kiss to manipulate him when I know he's busy. I had no clue. I thought I was making a connection. I never stopped him from going about his day, just a quick hug and kiss. I knew then it was over. He never gave me the benefit of the doubt. When one party starts a fight in order to keep the relationship interesting or spice things up. While conflicts or arguments are pretty normal, starting up one for the sake of not having a boring relationship is bonkers to me. I had an ex who started fights almost every day. I don't think we ever had a week of peace in our relationship, not even in what should have been the honeymoon phase. I remember being so tired and telling him we aren't compatible if we are fighting this often, and he was convinced fighting kept relationships interesting. Unfortunately, I was naive to relationships at that time and we were on and off for 2 years. During the last off, I just stopped responding to his messages when he tried to reach out to me again. When they take constant little digs at each other in a group setting. They may even claim to be joking, but you can tell they're not. Contempt is the death of relationships. Passive-aggressive nitpicking. My parents are doing this for some 30 years. They are always arguing over the most minuscule stuff, whether it's making dinner or doing household chores together. Every time they argue, one of them starts talking about divorce. Or saying I'm going to leave or you should just leave then. When they have vastly different life family goals. For example, one wants children and the other doesn't. Baffles me that people get married this way. I've met married couples who couldn't even agree on where to live, so they lived in different states, countries. What even is that? A part-time marriage? On the flip side, I'm a staunchly child-free person. When people find out, they ask me if my husband knows, agrees with it. How the fuck do you think we got here? You think it never came up, or what? Constantly plastering their relationship all over social media. Constantly one being needy or controlling or manipulative. I think you can tell when people are sharing their excitement vs faking it until they make it though. When the groom smashes the cake into the bride's face. Former wedding photographer. Every couple I married between 06 and 16 who smashed cake in each other's faces are divorced. I reached out for 5 years and 10-year anniversary pics and discovered this alarming trend. I think it comes down to respect for their partner. Joint social media account. Learned from a co-worker that if the name is spelled with an N between the two names, i.e. John and Jane Smith, then that means more than likely they are swingers. The account is used by them to interact with their dates with both parties aware of the conversation. Source: co-worker is a proud polyswinger guy. When they are far more concerned about the wedding than the marriage. Contempt. This has been discovered to be a highly consistent aspect of divorced couples. There was a study that said it was the #1 cause, but I read it a while ago and don't know if that's still true. Constant arguments, distancing from each other, no chemistry anymore. Correcting each other in public when it's unnecessary. Joking but really being mean. Sly comments and put downs. Oh, we just joke around like that. Okay. Reading the 8 threads and reading all the "my spouse suggested we open the marriage up to explore reasons" posts. I'm convinced most of the relationship posts are made up by lonely people on here, and relationship advice especially. I'm making a throwaway account BC my soul irks on here, yeah sure lol. They already fantasize about being with other people. My buddy is like this. He got married to his dumpster fire of a wife about 5 years ago, and they had come close to breaking up at least 10 times. He had a backup plan for if they were to get divorced, and he constantly makes jokes like, "Oh, if I weren't married or in my next life, that's my next wife shit." The rhyming one pisses me off especially. When they consistently put the other one down in front of friends or family. One that I haven't seen mentioned yet, when the mother, family, or friend dictates the relationship. I understand pointing out legitimate concerns, red flags out of concern. But the amount of jealousy and toxic behavior I come across on Reddit of the mother family friend intentionally ruining the relationship with the help of the SO is insane. Yes. Have a friend struggling with her BF's mom. BF and mom have a very unhealthy relationship. They started therapy and couple and individual, and everyone pushes him to work on his relationship with his mom. Cause it's ruining their relationship, his life, everything. Kissing photos on social media the first week of dating. With their third person of the year. And it's only April. If they have strongly conflicted plans for their future, either means they'll break up eventually or one or both of them will end up in an unhappy compromise. This. Have a friend who didn't want kids and at most was indifferent about having them while his wife absolutely wanted them. They now have 2 kids under the age of 3 and he is a complete shell of the person he used to be, and frankly she doesn't really seem happy either. I feel like neither of them really thought any of it through, they just kinda had kids cause you gotta. Always sniping at each other. People have to like, admire, and respect each other, generally speaking, for a strong relationship. Tagging the partner in Joker Harley Quinn memes or comics on Facebook. Listening to G-Eazy. Oh my god, the Joker Harley thing. I have a very specific person in mind. She'd always post things like "I'm his Holly girl." That is not something you want to be.